You are now listening to Limited Trust, a Devastator podcast. Let's get into it.
Episode 8, Limited Trust, a Devastator podcast. Today, we got nice special circumstances. I am outside in the van with all this shit hooked up, and I am catching the audio through the phone with the mic hooked up with the interface, and it's fucking 30 degrees out. But so much of the kids were out of school today, and apparently they just can't fucking be quiet, and it just totally fucked up my whole plans. So here we are. So I can't really be sure how this is going to sound in the end, but this is what we got. So today, what I kind of was thinking about doing, there's a discussion about the internet and graffiti and the internet in general. And then it kind of, when I was thinking about the internet, because I'm old and it just hasn't always been there, I was thinking about some of the shit that I used to do on the internet back in the fucking 90s. And then we'll tie it into the graffiti, the normal graffiti baloney. But I remember we got like an old IBM computer. I don't remember who the fuck gave it to my mom. And we had the trial for AOL. And I remember I was up in the AOL chat rooms and shit, and I saw these pictures that would scroll line by line. And I remember the first one I ever saw was an airplane, right? And I was like, wow, that is cool. And uninterrupted, it made a picture of an airplane on each line. So I started asking, like, what is that? What is that? And then someone told me that's called a macro. And I was like, I wonder if there's a private room named Macro. So there was macro and macros, but macros was where I actually got my start in basically being a fucking online criminal at a very young age. And so my parents, they saw that I took a liking and it sort of excelled, if you will, in computer related stuff. So to get me off of the street and kind of, I don't know, keep me in the house as the 90s were getting a little crazy on the west side, Rochester period, the whole world, late 90s, 97, 98. They actually made a large investment in me, and it was like $2,000 for this HP computer. And at this point, I had already been in macros, and this old piece of shit computer, IBM, wasn't really cutting it anymore. But I didn't really know, I knew that there was better out there, but this did the trick. But so I remember it was like a big surprise. And in between this, fucking Jay, he got a computer from Rent-A-Center. His mom got him one, so that shit was like a rocket. So we started doing all of our AO hacking over there. And at that point, we had gotten into programming, Visual Basic, Delphi, a little bit of C, and the fucking train in the background. Well, that's cool, I guess. So we started doing that. And then everything leads to like illegal shit, like no matter what. So we got into carding early on. This is like we were with the fucking pioneers of identity theft before that was even a thing. Like I remember just getting fucking lists of credit cards and making fake fucking websites and spamming 10,000 AOL emails, screen names that you'd go and you'd collect all day with a random chat collector that we programmed. And we go collect, 10,000 screen names. You let it run for hours and then spam all of them, And sometimes you do like a regular phishing scam where you would get their password and then take over their account, make your own screen name off of there, or we would have a card site, or you'd go for both. You'd have the card site with the login information, so then you'd get all that. And so we were like in, and my mom and everyone, they kind of just thought he's just, playing on the computer, when like I don't think we ever did any kind of gaming or any kind of anything. It was once we learned about this whole underworld, like fucking sub-7 and IP hacking and all this shit, it was a fucking rap. Like that's all it was learning and trying to further our online criminal career, if you will. Not career, but so one day my mom and Steve, they fucking surprised me, said we're going to Circuit City and to get you a new computer. And I like couldn't fucking believe it. I was like and I remember it was at HP Pavilion. It had a 6 gigabyte hard drive, which I like couldn't wrap my fucking head around. I was like 6 fucking gigabytes. Are you kidding me? And it had a CD burner, which is just like, pff. So we're in all these server rooms. So I have just tons of music, obviously bootleg fucking music, just tons. These server rooms are crazy. I actually still have the software that I'm using, not right today because I'm using a goddamn phone, but the software that I use was a byproduct of all of this, all the years of cracked software and server rooms and fucking all that bullshit. Well, I ended up linking up with this crew called NV2, and the name was NV2 because they were like trying to make fun of this other crew, Envy, that we fucking totally sacked, and fucking like swatting. Like we were on the forefront of all that type of shit. I remember we used to get on conference lines with carded fucking conference numbers and just call all night all these people's different police departments, fire departments, doing all this swatting, fire departments. We would order washer and dryer, cash on delivery with a credit card deposit back when they would do shit like that. And we would have like fucking like washers and dryers dropped off at people's door, fucking with the person with their hand out, like, we need you to take care of this and shit. Like we were on some shit. And then I remember the dude Crazed, which he always was fucking good to me. All these dudes, Maggie, Crazed, but they were fucking dangerous. Camo. I remember Crazed one time said, nothing makes my day like ruining somebody's life. And I always remember that, even though I was young and that's what I was into, like I thought that kind of scared me. I was like, damn. And this dude is not going to ruin your life by like, running up on you and robbing you. Like he's going to ruin your life by like having shit delivered to your house nonstop, have the fucking FBI kick in your door, it ruin your mother and your father's credit, anything that you could possibly do that you would feel like ruined your life, like that was going to happen to you. So I was actually happy to be on this side of it. But then they got into this LexisNexis hack, and I had started to distance myself because I seen the way shit was going, and these dudes were fucking cowboys. Now there's a guy making a podcast circuit. I forget what his name is, but he claims, like, he was on Concrete. I think he was on who the fuck else was he on? He might have been on Lex Friedman. He claims that he was a part of this LexisNexis hack, and he fucking wasn't. He wasn't. He's lying about that shit, and I know that because I was a fucking part of that shit. And Crazed and Camo, they baited a dude who was fucking into like underage girls or some shit, and they pretended to be one, and he was a cop, and they ended up getting IP fucking sub-7ing this dude's computer, getting access to the fucking some police computer in California, and they orchestrated the whole Paris Hilton leak, all that shit. All that stuff I watched happen and saw before it hit the fucking internet. And that's when I knew, I was like, this is going to be bad. And I remember I was drunk and paranoid one night, and I said, I can't fucking do this anymore. And at this point, I was on using AOL, but we were fucking criminals. I was using that. I hadn't paid for that. My mother at that point hadn't paid for that in years. And I never, like, after our first trial subscription ran out, I think it was 30 days or something, she never had to pay for that shit again, because it was all bootleg, all scammed. I would have master accounts and then fucking create get a non-credit card, which is a credit card that wasn't connected to an AOL account, and then make another account and then make accounts off of that and give them to people and shit. And like, we would just, we trade information and shit was crazy. Like, I remember we carded a fucking digital camera. Like, the digital camera was so old, it didn't have a screen or anything like that. It was just like a fucking camera that was digital, no preview screen, no nothing. And I remember that shit was like iced out at school. People were like, what the fuck is that? I was like, I could take 350 pictures, bong, bong, bong. I thought I was the fucking man with that shit. We would card concert tickets, hundreds and hundreds of CDs, and all this dumb shit. Like, we just did dumb shit. And so when they did this LexisNexis hack, I was like, fuck, man, this is heavy. So I unplugged, and this was fucking dial-up. I unplugged the dial-up, and I stayed back for a while. Probably 6 months or a year later, no, probably 6 months, I popped back into the rooms, VB, fucking all that, and I'm like, yo, where's all my people at? My aim was mad dry. I was like, where the fuck is all these people at? And then someone sent me a link to wired.com, a news article where all my fucking people, and it's still on there, you can Google it, Crazed, Krazed, Wired, LexisNexis, any of those search terms will bring up these articles. And they all got fucking busted. So I started talking to one dude who didn't get busted. And I think it was Majestic Maggie, I'm not sure though. Somebody saw the raid coming, fucking took their PC and threw it out of their window into a swimming pool at one point. And the feds raided all of them. And I think Craze ended up doing time. Like, I think they all ended up getting in fucking serious trouble. And I was glad to be out of that at that point. And I never went back. But I kind of I missed out on a lot by not going back, because technology was really advancing at that time, and I was coding, like making all kinds of programs and shit. It was all dumb shit that really didn't translate to anything outside of what I was doing, but it was fun, and I'd like to think that I was pretty good at it, and it possibly could have turned into something. But drugs and rap music was more important to me at that time. So I kind of let technology just continued on. It didn't stop where I did. And then by the time I came back, I was like, what the fuck is all this shit? I mean, I still know the basics and I still can navigate around and figure out things, but it all kind of progressed without me. So then it got me thinking about graffiti and people saying that graffiti was ruined by the internet. And I know there's a ton of hard-nosed dudes out there that right now are shaking their head. Yep, yes it did. And my personal opinion is I don't believe so. I don't believe that. And if it did, then you can say the internet ruined a lot of things. And you can also say that the first fucking automobile ruined the fucking carriage industry, or Walmart ruined the mom and pop grocery store. Things evolve, and things, I remember this line from Sopranos. He said, I don't know, the dude was fucking Paulie was busting the guy's balls about tree trimming, and he said, you know, so used to do these trees, and the tree trimming guy said a lot of things used to be, and I like that, and that's true, and. You know, there's a lot of graffiti purists that say the internet ruined it, and that if your Instagram got deleted tomorrow, you wouldn't be up, and blah blah blah. And you know what? Yeah, and so a lot of things too. And if the internet disappeared tomorrow, it wouldn't no one hear your mixtape. And if the internet disappeared tomorrow, you wouldn't have a job. And a lot of things would be if the internet disappeared tomorrow, but it didn't, and it hasn't yet. And I think graffiti early on made its signature styles by not being connected. You know, that's why you see like the Philly styles and, you know, the New York hand styles and West Coast hand styles, and even South American hand styles are kind of a blend of all that, and there's different ways of doing graffiti, you know, fucking train graffiti and, you know, freight graffiti and da 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 da. And in like European dudes, my guys in Germany do different graffiti, and the way people used to see graffiti, even before like message boards and shit, like you might get the little hand printed magazines and shit, or you know, a music video, or you know, whatever. And then traveling, you know, you'd have to be up elsewhere and traveling to see different types of graffiti. But I think now the internet kind of made a melting pot where you're going to see, and you have seen, these crazy styles that were born from this connection that we all share, and these crazy relationships of people who would have never known one another. And yeah, maybe I would have only seen your graffiti fucking benching if you were a train writer, but if you only hit the streets and da-da-da, you know, like I don't think it was necessarily a bad thing, and I don't think that it killed graffiti at all. And in that being said, you know, you could say cameras ruin graffiti, or fucking, you know, like a lot of things can ruin a lot of things if you let it. If you let something be the downfall of what you're trying to do, then I guess you're right. Then it did ruin, you know, A ruined B, and then you're left with X, Y, Z, or whatever, you know. But I don't personally think that, and I've met and linked up with a lot of people that I wouldn't ever have linked up with if it wasn't for graffiti, if it wasn't for the internet. And like Jeff, who owns Zuka Skateboards out of New Jersey, he fucking taught me how to program back in fucking 1998. He taught me. I would ask him so many questions. I was fucking 12 years old. I would ask him all these questions about coding, and he was the fucking best coder that I knew to this day. And he was like a fucking god to me. I was like, this guy is the fucking truth. Fucking, we lost contact. He had a life, you know, he was older than me. All these years later, I'm working at a factory building IV pumps. And this dude works there who used to live in New Jersey, Jeremy. And I don't know how the fucking, I don't know what, we ended up following each other on Facebook. Back when I used that shit, and somehow, I don't know how the fuck it happened, me and fucking Jeff were mutual friends of this dude Jeremy, and Jeff messaged me and was like, yo, is this you? And I was going by a different name and everything, you know, like fucking like Kyle Conway, and he didn't know me as that back then. And we ended up re-linking up, and now, like, I bought a skateboard off of him when Zuko was called Revelation. And this was, my dad sent him a fucking check, you know? And that's all because of the internet. And I met this dude, and we know each other. We're friends now. And this has been over 20 years later. And we're friends because of the internet, and we're brought back together because of the internet, and And now I can share his skateboard company with my people, with our family here on the internet. So I think there's a lot of purists out there who think things should be one way or the other, and I only rack and I only do this and I don't buy this and da 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 da. You gotta that's an old sour ass attitude. You gotta lose that shit, man. If you want to grow, or you can be stuck in fucking 1995. If you want to be stuck in 95, fucking go be stuck in 95. Get rid of that phone though. You're on the internet talking shit about the internet. Like, I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? Yo, son, I'm on here typing comments to fucking internet killed graffiti, dog. You're on graffiti shit talking shit about the internet graffiti. Like, if there was any kind of hypocrite bullshit, I would say that that's what it is. There it is. So, do I think that the internet is bad for graffiti? No, I don't think so. I don't. I think that it's created a lot of things and a lot of avenues for people. And I think it's built a lot of relationships and taught people. And are there bad things about it? Yeah, of course. Of course there is. The internet as a whole is a terrible, vile place. If you're looking for terrible, vile things and ways to corrupt your fucking morals, you will find it. You don't have to look hard. It's out there for you. And that goes with anything. So if you want to find a way to have internet or the internet ruin graffiti, go for it. You'll find it. It's out there. There's a million other people that feel the same way. And this is just me. Like, if you think that, that's fine. Ooh, my stomach. Ooh. I'm off this fucking diet and eating regular food again. It's fucking me up. If you will find anything you're looking for wherever you're looking for it, and you will find people that are like you as well. Because misery loves company. And if it's not misery, everybody loves company when it comes to certain things, when it comes to beliefs and, your ideals or whatever. But, yeah, I'm thinking that you can have the internet mixed with your graffiti, and I don't think it's gonna hurt anything. Either that or just get rid of the phone, dog. You know what I mean? Get rid of the phone, get rid of the computer, get rid of the MacBook, get rid of the Procreate, get rid of all that shit. Because I see OGs on that Procreate fucking killing it. And are they faulted for that? I don't believe so. I mean, I think graffiti is what you make it. And I remember Silo told me one time, we were talking about an incident that happened where someone had a complaint about something that I did. And Silo said, who the fuck does this dude think he is? Don't tell me how to do my graffiti. And I was like, yeah, don't tell me how to do my fucking, you know what I mean? And I didn't break I guess was it breaking the rules? I guess that all depends on whose fucking rule book you're looking at. But I didn't think so. And a lot of people saw this thing and I don't know. But so hopefully this episode is good. Hopefully this pans out while I sit in this fucking vehicle and I'm freezing. And it's actually kind of comfortable though, because I'm like leaned back and shit. I'm like leaned back. I'm not all hunched over in the house and shit. And I can talk louder, I feel like. So I don't know. This might not translate well. My guys might be like, yeah, get back in the house, bro. What else do we got? Oh, shout out fucking Machine Studio, man. Dude, came in with the fucking limited stickers. And shout out Graphic Engraving. Just doing these Zippos. Sent them out the other day. All this stuff is going to be fucking... We're going to be coming out with some more drops soon. And, hopefully things start turning around and picking back up. And maybe we could bring back that 237 alcohol. Yeah. All right, man. Well, hope you like this change of pace. I hope it translates well. And, yeah. I'm gonna try to take a picture of this shit and show you what I'm working with here. All right, guys, mod it up, or I don't want to say the wrong politically correct shit. All right, people. Fuck the internet. Later.